Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. It's Fitness Friday and we're here again. We made it to the end of another work week. We pushed our way through, we pressed, we persevered. We didn't faint, we didn't fall out, we didn't give up. We survived. So let's do a Friday ritual where we pat ourselves on the back. We breathe in and breathe out. Put a smile on your face and tell yourself you made it. You did a great job. But we're here today to talk about your physical well-being. Why? Because your life matters. Your life is important. And because of that, we're going to talk about some things that we can do to get better results. I was thinking about David and his journey to possessing the promise, that he reached a point where he had to deal with a problem. It was inevitable. It was unavoidable. He had to address it. The problem had a name. The problem was a giant. The problem was Goliath. And sometimes in life, while we're on our way to our fitness journey to get healthy, to improve our overall well-being, we have to deal with a problem. And this problem we're dealing with, it's also a giant, has a name. It's called temptation. How do we deal with temptation? Because as we're getting results and we're making changes, we reach a point where this giant just presents itself and we find ourselves in a position where we got to make a decision. Either we're going to fight or we're going to faint. We're going to fall out and let the giant win. And sometimes it's so intimidating that we get weak in the knees and we're like, oh, I can't fight this. I just can't control this. I don't know if I can win. Well, I want to tell you, these giants must fall. You got to tell yourself that this giant must fall. You have to win the battle in your head before you win it in your hand. I'm going to say it like that again. You got to win the battle in your head before you win it in your hand, because before you know it, you put your hands on some food and it's already in your mouth. And you're like, oh my God, I just can't do it. I can't fight this. You have to tell yourself that you can win. So let's get a little bit deeper into the conversation about fighting these giants. We're all human. We all have desires. We all have urges. We all have these cravings, but we are in control. And we have to tell ourselves that this is a giant that I can defeat. You go places and you're around people and the temptation is so real. You know what your struggle is, whether it's cake, cookies, candy, or carbs. It's calling your name and you got to decide that I'm here to fight. I'm tired. I'm tired of giving in. I'm tired of getting to a place where every time I'm getting really good results and I'm celebrating, oh, I'm taking pictures and I'm posting and I'm bragging and people are saying, oh, you're looking so great. Then here comes this giant. And before you know it, you've given in. You've backed into a corner and you feel submissive. You feel subjected to this giant because it's right in your face and it's saying, go ahead and surrender. Go ahead and give up. You can't defeat me, but you can do it. You have to tell yourself that I'm deciding today that this giant must fall. I've seen some people who've taken some steps to defeat some giants in their lives because they made a decision that I'm tired of running. I'm tired of backing down. I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to fight. How do you fight? You have to take some steps to defeating the giants in your life. So first off, I want to tell you, one, you have to decide that your giant has to fall. You have to make the decision. If you find yourself in a position where you're debating about it, you're thinking about it, or you want to let it go, or you have doubts about it, and one thing I want you to remove from your mind, one word, I want you to remove from your vocabulary when it comes down to you getting results is the word can't. I hear it so much. Oh, I can't eat this, or I can't do this kind of exercise. You allow can't to become the barrier that separates you from overcoming your giant. You allow can't to be the very thing that's holding you back from fighting. You got to tell yourself, yes, I can. I know it's a blast from the past. We've heard that chant before. Yes, you can. Well, you got to say, yes, I can. You have to tell yourself, yes, I can. I can quit. I can overcome this desire. I can defeat this giant. So one, you got to make a decision. You may have to clean out the cabinet. You may have to clean out the refrigerator. You may have to cut up those coupons. You may have to cancel those reservations because you've made a decision that you're going to quit. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. You may have to write it down and say, this is the date, April 7th, 2017. I am done. It's over. Goodbye. Post it on your wall. Post it on your refrigerator. Post it on Facebook. Say, this is the day that I'm getting a legal separation. I'm divorcing this giant because I refuse to allow this giant to dominate my life. 2, you have to decide to keep fighting. Listen, this is not a one-day fight. This is not a 2-day fight. This is a fight for the rest of your life. Because as you defeat this giant, it goes away, but it's gonna come back. Wow. This giant keeps coming back, but every time it comes, you gotta fight. You gotta bring it day in and day out. I don't want you to be naive. I don't want you to be deceived. I don't want you to think that because you've done a great job and you fought all of this week, last week and the week before, that the giant is just gonna disappear. The giants do come back. Man, that's when you got to decide that I've already taken a stand and I'm going to keep fighting. Do you think our military officials in other countries, they just kind of wake up and say, well, I don't know if the enemy is going to attack today, so I'm just going to be real relaxed and reserved? No, they're ready to fight every single day. They're packing, they're armed, they're dangerous, they're ready to go on the offense. And you got to be ready to go on the offense. You've lived in defense too long. You've been backing up too long. It's time for you to bring the fight. It's time for you to bring the fight. 3, you have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, then you will fail to possess the promise. You'll fail to get to your destination. You'll fail to get to your goals. Do you think great architects just go out and just start putting stuff together? No, they have a plan. They have a blueprint. And I have a friend, and she just keep amazing me with the things that she's doing to plan, to prepare. She's traveling, she's flying, and she's packing her own food. I'm like, great goodness, Kim, cut yourself some slack. But no, KG's grinding. She's planning. She goes to the restaurant with her food, and they're warming up her food because she has a plan. 4, you have to identify your triggers. Oh, yes, you do. You got to identify the things that keep getting you in trouble, the things that keep getting you in a position where you're compromised. Listen, I know we all have those moments. We all have those rough days where we want to grab one of the C's. Either we want to grab the cookies, the candies, the cake, or the carbs because we had a rough day. It was tough. And that seems as if it's the logical option, but that's where the temptation comes in. And you got to say, no, I know I'm having a bad day. I know things are not going well, so I'm already going to prepare myself mentally that I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to step back in a position where I'm in defeat. So you have to decide, I will not put myself in a position where I'm inferior and the things that I'm struggling with become so superior that they push me back into the arms of the things that I'm trying to get away from. You have to know your triggers. Sometimes you just got to tell yourself that I cannot go there. I cannot look at this because it's going to pull me back in. You have to know your limitations. We all have limitations. None of us are superhuman. We fall when we give ourselves a false sense of security of where we are with the things that we're struggling with. 5, don't retreat. Don't withdraw. Survive the fall. If you do fall, which sometimes it does happen, we do have one of those moments where we have a setback, but don't let it become a permanent thing where you're binging. Oh, so you had a cookie, you had some cake, or you had a candy. Move past it. Don't let that failure be permanent. So you had a cheat item, you had a cheat meal. You don't have to make it a cheat week or a cheat month, because if you're not careful, you'll end up cheating for the rest of the year. You got to catch yourself. You got to stop yourself and say, this is it. Okay, I messed up. Time for me to get up. Don't sit there and say, well, I just feel so powerless. You have to tell those giants they will fall. Number 6, you got to celebrate your accomplishments. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so tough on yourself because you're there. You're getting there. You may have plateaued, but guess what? You didn't gain the weight back. You have to embrace a positive perspective. I choose to look at the glass half full. At least I'm not as bad as I used to be. At least I'm not as bad as I used to be. I'm able to maintain. No, I'm not getting all the success that I need right now, but I'm celebrating where I am. If you just lost a pound, you got to celebrate. I know there are people around you who are doing a lot better than you are, and you're looking at that and you feel like you want to be down on yourself. If you're not careful, you allow the giants to come back. If you don't take time to celebrate yourself and say, listen, I'm doing great. I'm this age and I'm able to keep the weight off. I'm eating as healthy as I've ever eaten before. I'm in the best shape of my life. No, I have not reached my destination as of yet, but I'm on the journey. That's the most important thing. Celebrate the fact that you're on the journey. You've not yet arrived. You got to celebrate where you are. And number 7, you got to remember the reward. Yes, this is what you're looking forward to. Sometimes people buy a smaller size dress, a smaller size suit, a smaller size pants, because this is what I'm working my way up to. This is what I'm working my way up to. This is not something I'm just doing for a class reunion. This is not something I'm just doing for a vacation so I can take nice pictures. This is something I'm doing for the rest of my life because I want to be healthy. And I have to tell these giants, they must fall. Temptation, it's in your face, it's right there, but you got to arm yourself. David armed himself. Yes, he could have used everything else that everyone around him was using to fight, but he's like, listen, that's not working for you. I got to do what's working for me. So find what's working for you and fight those giants. This week, this month, for the rest of this year, tell yourself, these giants must fall. You have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week.